Welcome back, fellas. Let's put this in the ether. Modern women do not understand what consequences is, right? They don't understand the consequences for their actions, right? They don't understand what is the future. They don't understand. They don't have a clairvoyancy of what's going to happen in the future for their actions, right? And they don't want to take accountability for their actions, right? This is why they don't understand what consequences is. They expect to sleep around, have a lot of high body counts, have all this promiscuous partner, right? And be on birth control, having all this pure promiscuity, right, happen, and don't understand that the things that they're doing might have a dire consequence or a terrible consequences in the future, whether it's going to lead them to being guys want them, pregnancy, diseases, right? They want to take they don't want, or they either don't want consequences or they don't understand the concept of consequences, right? When you're doing reckless thing like this, right? Reckless thing, sleeping around, right? Have high expectation, there are gonna be consequences, right? If you have high expectation in the man, what are the possibility of you gonna find a perfect man? They want a 6-figure guy, 6-figure income, and 6 feet tall, 6 packs abs, right? All the sixes, right? But they don't understand the reality of things, right? When you have this much standards when you have this much standard and you're not based on reality, there's consequences, right? There are consequences for you not finding this right amount of guys out there. These things that women demand for, there are not enough guys to fulfill their needs, right? They're not living in reality. So the consequence is the chances of them being with these people that they want are very slim. And not only that, they're not willing to compromise. When you're not willing to compromise on your demands, there are gonna be consequences, right? There's gonna be consequences because the consequence is that you might not find a guy who's the perfect guy for you. This is what leads to a lot of women being so lonely and alone in life, right? Because their demand is so unrealistic. And that's the consequences, because their demand are so unrealistic. The consequences is that they'll be alone forever. Those are the consequences. The consequences is if they sleep around with so many guys, the consequences is, right, not a lot of guys want to be with them because of the high body counts. Most guys, generally speaking, do not want a woman who have high body counts. Guys want purity. Purity means it's a clean slate. Guys, if they want somebody, if they want to get with a woman, right, they want to get with a woman who have a clean slate, because a woman with clean slate is a less chance for her having diseases, right? Having her virginity lost, which means as a physical thing, which means a tighter cervix, right? Because that's what it means when you want a virginity, right? Better sexual experiences, right? And when she come with a clean slate, right? That means she's not corrupted by all the mainstream media and all the ungodly thing that's going on in the world. That's what it is, a clean slate. That's why guys want purity the most. Now, when you go have sex with all these men, right, that means you're contaminated. Those are the consequences. When you have all these sexual partners, you're contaminated. That means that means and it could lead to a lot of guys not wanting you, right? And when you try to tell them this, they can't comprehend this, right? Like, girl, these are the consequences when you do all these heinous things, all these reprehensible things, right? You're going to expect a guy's not want to be with you. Guys are not going to take you seriously. This is what leads to a lot of women being single, right? And not only that, it also leads on to their adult life too, when they don't understand consequences. When you don't understand consequences, like when you divorce a guy, right? You don't understand the consequences when you divorce a guy. You're going to put your kids into a more vulnerable positions. You're going to put them in a disadvantaged position, and then they're growing up resenting you by you putting the kids in an awkward positions, right? Those are the consequences for your action if you want a divorce. They don't understand the consequences when they're sleeping around. They don't understand the consequences of having high expectations. They don't have a clear indication of consequences when they file for divorces. When you file for divorces, right, which mean that most likely you already have kids, right? And guys don't want a woman with kids, which means you're a single mother, right? When you are married and you have kids, what are the chances of you getting with another man? I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying you will not get with another man. You most likely get a simp, right? And then most likely and it's most likely lead you to another divorce, because the statistic prove that if you divorce once, you're most likely going to divorce again, and those are the consequences. They don't look at numbers and logics and data as a consequences, as a mechanism, as a metrics of their consequences, right? This is why I made the statement. Most women out there don't understand what consequences is, right? Yeah, they have to experience it for themselves for them to feel that pain, right? That's why, I just don't bother to tell women no more. Like, if they don't understand what consequences is and they want to feel the pain, go ahead, let them do it. Let them make the mistakes. Let them, because some people need to learn the hard way. All right, no matter how much you tell them that this is not the best way to do it, they're not gonna listen to you. They want to make that risk and take the consequences, which they most likely they don't understand what the consequences is, right? They don't understand the consequences of sleeping around with so many men, right? There is a lot of risk factor, right? You're gonna get all these unknown diseases. You're gonna get HIV, syphilis, gonorrhea, all these unwanted discomfort, right? And they're still doing it anyway. It's like health classes teach women about this kind of stuff, right? Teach kids when you were adolescents. We have health classes that teach kids that if you have a lot of sexual partners, these are the things that you risking yourself, right? To put yourself in a risk by getting all these diseases. They took all these classes, they aced all these classes, right? And what do? They still take this risk, even though the health classes tell them all the consequences, right? The unwanted pregnancy, right? Unwanted pregnancy and all this stuff, right? And they still do it anyway, right? And not only that, birth control, right? Birth control does not protect a woman from diseases. They think a birth control is the ultimate pill, or Plan B is ultimate pill. Yeah, you might abort your child, but yet again, there's a risk factor. You might still contract a disease as well, right? You can abort a child, but does that pill protect you from HIV? Does that pill protect you from syphilis or gonorrhea? Right? Does that pill protect you from all these stuff? No. And not only that, they sleep around with all these different men later on. Then they don't understand that they might not like that partner, then it lead to them having resentment for sleeping with that person. And these are the consequences. It's going to lead to mental scars, right? They don't understand the consequences doesn't necessarily mean physical things as well. It also means mental things as well. You can have mental resentment, mental remorse by doing all these acts, right? They think that sleeping around with all these men is a good thing, but later in life they can find it in themselves and discover themselves that these are not the best thing for them to do. And what that do, they're gonna make them resent their decision. They're gonna regret everything that they did, right? And that's more mental anguish on their head. That's more mental pain on their head. And you think that's easy? Think that's pleasant? No, that's gonna lead, because they have all these mental damage in their head. They're gonna lead to all these psychological damage in life. They're gonna grow up to be scarred for life, having all these partners. Look at all these porn stars out there, right? Most of these porn stars are scarred. They're not in the right mental health. They have all these multiple partners doing all these stupid things, and now they're depressed. They're mentally damaged. They have all this mental disorder, right? They don't understand the consequences. This is why guys don't tell women not to do this for no reason, right? Guys understand there's a reason not to do this because of all the psychological damages it will do to them, right? But apparently they don't understand the consequences of that as well, right? This is why I lead to my claim that most women out there don't understand what consequences is. They have to suffer through it for them to learn, right? So if they have to suffer for them to learn, I said just let them suffer, right? Don't tell them, let them learn the hard way. Sometimes these people have to learn the hard way, right? No matter what you do, no matter what you say, just sit back, relax, and just eat your popcorn and enjoy the show. You don't have to participate as men. Like, all right, men, if I know she have a high body count, I'm not going to participate in that. I'm going to let her discover her for herself that this is not an optimal thing. And what's that going to lead to her? Is going to lead to her having a mental breakdown, right? A lot of women have mental breakdown because of these issues. Mental fragmentation, right? They're going to lead them to loneliness because nobody wants them. No men would want them, right? Because of their history, right? They don't understand what they do in the past affect them in the future, right? They don't understand that. That's called consequences, right? What they do in the past can affect them in the future, right? And clearly they don't understand that. Clearly they can't comprehend that logic, right? What you do in your past can affect you later on in life. No, because for women, they only live in the moment. They don't live in the future, right? They don't live in the. They don't have the clairvoyancy of seeing what might happen in the future. Most of them don't, right? They just want to have a good time in a moment right now. You know, like that phrase is, girls just want to have fun for right now. They just want to have fun. That's it. They just want to have fun. But when you have fun, when you have too much fun at the moment, you're being distracted. You're not looking into the future. What might happen when you have fun right now, right? And we tell them this, and then when we tell them, they say, "Oh, we hating on them. You're being a misogynist. You're doing all this stuff. You can't accept. You're insecure. You're inferior, right? They question your masculinity. Oh, you're a prude, right? You don't know what it means to have fun." No, men understand the consequences of our actions. That's why men are more careful when it comes to life, right? Men are more careful and we're more strategic when we're planning our life. We have steps. We understand the step we have to go through in order to be successful. We understand the step we have to go through in order to get status. We understand that when we were born, we don't have everything given to us like women. Women doesn't have to do anything to get the status they get. They can sleep with any man they want on command, right? When they're at that age. Men don't have that kind of privilege, right? Men, in order to get what we want, we have to work for it. Most women don't work for it, right? They don't work for the thing that they get. And don't say about this career thing. Most of these women that get to high places is based on the quota system. If not for the government intervening with the working market, right, women wouldn't be in its high places. Right? And because they're in those high places, they didn't really earn it because it's based on quota. If you want to be what's that word I'm trying for? If you want to be praised for your hard work, you have to go to the same routine as men do it and work your way up to that ladder. For most women out there in the corporate ladder, they don't have to climb up like that. They don't have to show up. They base on this quota system that a company might have to appoint these certain amount of people in these positions, or else they'll be fined by somebody, the FTC or something, right? But back to my point. I digress on that. Back to my point. What women do, they don't understand the consequences for their actions. They only like to live for the moment. But I digress, right? The point is they don't understand consequences. Period. But let me know if you agree. Do you agree that women don't grasp this concept of consequences? Most women. Let me know in the comment section below. On that note, guys, thanks for listening to me. You like my content. I drop videos daily and you want to support my channel. Like, share, subscribe. And on that note, guys, as always, peace and blessings.